What if I told you there's a single crop operation that covers more land than the entire state of Connecticut? While you're tending your backyard garden, there are agricultural empires so massive they can literally be seen from space, producing enough food to feed entire nations. These aren't just big farms, they're crop kingdoms that dwarf anything you can imagine. What I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about farming. Crop number 7, Iowa's Corn Empire, USA. Let's start close to home with America's corn heartland, Iowa. This single state produces over 2.5 billion bushels of corn annually on 13.1 million acres, making it larger than the entire state of West Virginia, dedicated to just one crop. What makes Iowa's corn empire truly remarkable is how it represents 5 generations of American farming excellence passed down through families who've perfected their craft. Iowa's cornfields stretch from horizon to horizon, creating golden seas that your grandfather would recognize, but using technology he couldn't have imagined. Modern Iowa corn farmers use GPS-guided planters that can cover 1,000 acres per day with precision that ensures every kernel is placed at the perfect depth and spacing. The scale is almost impossible to comprehend. You could drive for 8 hours straight across Iowa during harvest season and never leave corn country. Individual farms routinely cover 5,000 to 10,000 acres, operated by families whose great-grandfathers broke this prairie with horse-drawn plows. But here's what makes Iowa's operation truly extraordinary: the technology revolution happening in these traditional farming communities. Modern Iowa corn farms use variable rate planters that adjust seed populations based on soil conditions, optimizing plant density for maximum yield. Combine harvesters equipped with yield monitors create detailed maps showing exactly how much corn each section of field produced, allowing farmers to fine-tune their operations with scientific precision. This Iowa corn empire generates approximately $16.8 billion annually, according to the Iowa Farm Bureau, making it one of America's most valuable agricultural sectors. The state's corn production alone provides feed for millions of livestock across the country, proving that the American heartland remains the agricultural powerhouse that feeds the world. Crop number 6, Ukraine's wheat breadbasket. Deep in Eastern Europe lies an agricultural region so productive it's been called the breadbasket of the world. Ukraine's wheat belt covers approximately 17.4 million acres of some of the most fertile soil on Earth. This isn't just farming, it's agricultural heritage that stretches back over 1,000 years to when these black soil plains first fed the ancient civilizations of Europe. Ukraine produces around 32.7 million tons of wheat annually in normal years, though recent production has been affected by ongoing conflict. The scale becomes clear when you realize that individual wheat farms in Ukraine cover areas larger than many American counties, stretching across landscapes so vast they create their own weather patterns. These operations use some of the world's largest agricultural machinery. Ukrainian wheat farms deploy combines that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each and can harvest hundreds of acres per day, working around the clock during the brief harvest window when weather conditions are perfect. The soil that makes this possible is legendary among agricultural scientists. Ukraine's Chernozem, or black earth, contains up to 15% organic matter and can be 6 feet deep. This soil is so fertile that Ukrainian farmers often achieve impressive wheat yields without irrigation, relying purely on the natural fertility that took thousands of years to develop. The logistics of moving Ukraine's wheat harvest are impressive. The country operates a network of grain terminals along the Black Sea that can efficiently load large ships. During harvest season, grain trains move continuously from the interior to these ports, carrying wheat that feeds people across multiple continents. What makes Ukraine's wheat empire truly extraordinary is how it demonstrates agriculture's role in global stability. This region exports significant quantities of wheat worldwide, proving that farming remains one of humanity's most critical industries and connecting today's operations to thousands of years of agricultural tradition. Crop number 5. California's Almond Kingdom, USA. Welcome to America's most valuable nut empire. California's Central Valley produces 80% of the world's almonds on 1.3 million acres of precisely managed orchards. This isn't the small-scale farming your great-grandfather knew. These are agricultural operations that combine cutting-edge technology with the patient art of tree farming. California's almond groves stretch for 400 miles through the Central Valley, creating landscapes of perfectly aligned trees that extend to the horizon in every direction. Individual almond operations can cover thousands of acres, managed by families who've spent generations perfecting the science of nut production. The technology involved would astound farmers from just decades ago. Modern almond orchards use micro-sprinkler systems controlled by soil moisture sensors, delivering precisely the right amount of water to each tree. Mechanical harvesters shake entire trees, collecting nuts with efficiency that allows a single machine to harvest what many workers could accomplish by hand. The precision required in almond farming is extraordinary. Each tree is monitored using advanced technology that can detect stress, disease, or nutrient deficiencies before they become visible to the human eye. Harvest timing is critical. Almonds must be shaken from trees within a narrow window when hull moisture is exactly right, requiring coordination of numerous machines across thousands of acres. The pollination event alone is one of agriculture's greatest spectacles. Every February, over 2.8 million bee colonies, approximately 70% of all commercial bees in America, are transported to California's Central Valley for almond pollination. This creates the largest managed pollination event in the world, with beehives covering the landscape during the 3-week bloom period. Water management in California's Almond Kingdom represents agricultural engineering at its finest. The industry uses approximately 3.2 million acre-feet of water annually, delivered through sophisticated networks of canals, pipelines, and reservoirs that can precisely control water delivery to individual orchards based on weather forecasts and soil conditions. The economic impact is staggering. California's almond industry generates over $5.6 billion annually while exporting to 90 countries worldwide. These orchards represent patient capital, trees that take 5 years to produce and can continue bearing nuts for 50 years, connecting today's farmers to investments their grandfathers made decades ago. Crop number 4. Brazil's Amazon soybean frontier. Deep in Brazil's interior lies one of the most dramatic agricultural transformations in human history. The Cerrado region, where millions of acres of former savanna now produces soybeans on a scale that rivals American operations. This isn't just farming. It's the conquest of a landscape once considered unsuitable for agriculture. Brazil now produces over 150 million tons of soybeans annually, making it one of the world's largest producers alongside the United States. Individual soybean farms in Mato Grosso can cover tens of thousands of acres, operated by agricultural corporations that have invested heavily in infrastructure and processing facilities. The scale of these operations would impress American farmers. Brazilian soybean farms use advanced planters that can cover thousands of acres per day, working with GPS precision across landscapes so vast that different sections experience completely different weather patterns simultaneously. The transformation of Brazil's Cerrado into soybean country required overcoming significant challenges. The original soil was highly acidic with aluminum toxicity that killed most crops. Brazilian agricultural scientists spent decades developing lime application techniques and aluminum-tolerant soybean varieties that could thrive in conditions previously thought impossible for agriculture. The machinery used in Brazil's soybean empire operates on impressive scales. Individual farms deploy multiple tractors during planting season, working in coordinated patterns across extensive fields. Combined harvesters work in groups during harvest, creating efficient operations that can process thousands of acres per day. Storage and transportation infrastructure in Brazil's soybean region represents significant engineering achievements. Farms operate substantial grain storage facilities, while private transportation networks connect interior farms to ports through challenging terrain that required major infrastructure investments. What makes Brazil's soybean empire truly impressive is the logistics involved. These farms are located hundreds of miles from the nearest ports, requiring extensive transportation networks of trucks, trains, and barges that move grain across vast distances. The largest operations generate hundreds of millions in annual revenue while helping transform Brazil into a major agricultural exporter. Crop number 3, Punjab's Rice Bowl, India. In the fertile plains of northern India lies an agricultural region that plays a crucial role in feeding 1.4 billion people. Punjab state produces significant quantities of rice annually on approximately 7.5 million acres, achieving impressive yields through intensive management. This is agriculture perfected over thousands of years and enhanced with modern technology. Punjab's rice fields create a patchwork of green that stretches across the landscape, with farms averaging modest sizes but achieving remarkable productivity through intensive cultivation methods. What these farmers accomplish through careful management and multiple cropping seasons demonstrates the power of agricultural intensity. The technology involved combines traditional wisdom with modern innovation. Punjab farmers use laser-leveled fields that ensure efficient water distribution, while improved rice techniques help optimize water usage compared to traditional methods. Modern equipment works alongside traditional methods, creating an effective blend of old and new approaches. The water management system supporting Punjab's rice production represents impressive engineering across the state. The region operates thousands of tube wells that tap into underground aquifers, supplemented by an extensive canal network that distributes water from major river systems. During peak growing season, Punjab manages substantial water resources delivered through channels that reach farming areas with coordinated timing. The intensity of Punjab's agricultural system is remarkable. Farmers apply fertilizer multiple times per growing season, using formulations developed by agricultural universities specifically for local soil conditions. Pest management involves regular field monitoring, with treatments applied using various methods including backpack sprayers and aircraft that can navigate between infrastructure. Labor coordination during harvest season creates impressive agricultural operations. Punjab employs thousands of combine harvesters during the rice harvest window, with machines working extended hours to complete harvesting before monsoon rains arrive. The coordination required to move this equipment between fields requires significant logistical planning. The scale of production is impressive despite the individual farm sizes. Punjab produces substantial quantities of rice while supporting millions of farmers and their families. This region demonstrates that agricultural intensity can be just as important as agricultural scale, proving that feeding the world requires both large operations and numerous smaller farms working effectively. Crop number 2, Russia's wheat empire. Stretching across the vast steppes of Russia lies one of the world's major wheat-producing regions, a grain belt covering millions of acres that extends across multiple regions, creating extensive horizons of wheat that demonstrate agriculture on a continental scale. This represents farming across distances that would be impossible to manage anywhere else on Earth. Russia produces over 80 million tons of wheat annually, making it one of the world's major wheat exporters with enough grain to supply numerous countries. Individual wheat farms in southern Russia can cover extensive areas operated by agricultural corporations that manage distances so vast they require aircraft for field monitoring and coordination. The machinery involved operates on impressive scales. Russian wheat farms use combines that can harvest hundreds of acres per day, working in fleets of multiple machines that move across the landscape in coordinated patterns. The largest operations own dozens of combines, creating harvest operations that demonstrate mechanized agriculture at its most impressive. The logistics of managing Russia's wheat operations require infrastructure that spans multiple regions. Individual farming operations maintain airports for crop monitoring and equipment transportation, with some farms operating aircraft fleets for agricultural management. Grain storage facilities are built to withstand extreme temperatures, ranging from severe winter cold to summer heat, using construction techniques developed specifically for Russia's challenging climate. The scale of Russia's wheat harvest creates transportation requirements that dwarf those faced by most farmers. During harvest season, extensive grain trains move continuously toward ports on the Black Sea and Baltic Sea. Railway systems carry wheat across thousands of miles of territory, creating some of the world's longest agricultural supply chains. Weather monitoring across Russia's wheat belt requires satellite technology and meteorological stations spanning vast areas. Individual farms employ meteorologists who track weather patterns across extensive regions, making planting and harvesting decisions that can affect regional and global grain markets. What makes Russia's wheat empire truly significant is how it demonstrates agriculture's role in global food security. This region exports substantial quantities of wheat to supply numerous countries, proving that farming remains one of the world's most strategic industries while connecting today's operations to agricultural traditions spanning centuries. Crop number 1, China's rice mega valleys. At the top of our list sits one of the most productive agricultural regions in human history. China's major rice-producing areas produce over 200 million tons of rice annually across extensive acreage, feeding hundreds of millions of people through sophisticated agricultural systems. This represents the agricultural foundation supporting the world's most populous nation. China's rice empire stretches across multiple river valleys, creating terraced landscapes that have been continuously farmed for over 2,000 years. Individual rice-growing regions can produce more grain than many entire countries, achieving impressive yields through intensive management that combines ancient techniques with modern technology. The scale of production is remarkable. China's annual rice harvest represents one of humanity's greatest agricultural achievements, supporting agricultural communities that have perfected rice cultivation across dozens of generations. Modern Chinese rice farms use satellite-guided machinery alongside traditional methods, creating an effective blend of high-tech and time-tested approaches. The engineering required to maintain China's rice valleys represents significant agricultural infrastructure. The regions operate thousands of miles of irrigation canals, many of which were constructed centuries ago and remain in use today. Modern pumping stations can move millions of gallons of water per day, maintaining precise water levels across extensive areas of terraced fields. The terracing system itself demonstrates remarkable agricultural engineering across mountainous regions. Terraced fields can climb thousands of feet up mountainsides, with individual terraces collectively covering areas equivalent to large counties. The stone walls supporting these terraces represent construction projects that required generations to complete and maintain. Labor coordination during planting and harvest seasons involves millions of people working in patterns that have been refined across generations. Transplanting season sees entire communities working together to move rice seedlings from nurseries to flooded fields, completing tasks that require precise timing to maximize yields. The coordination required demonstrates agricultural organization on an unprecedented scale. The genetic diversity maintained in China's rice valleys represents an important agricultural resource. Chinese farmers grow numerous different rice varieties, many of which have been developed specifically for local conditions. This genetic diversity provides an important foundation for rice breeding programs worldwide, ensuring future generations have the genetic resources needed to adapt rice production to changing conditions. What makes China's rice valleys truly remarkable is how they represent one of humanity's greatest agricultural achievements, feeding a significant portion of the world's population through intensive cultivation of limited farmable land. These ancient valleys, enhanced with modern irrigation and precision agriculture, prove that the combination of traditional wisdom and cutting-edge technology can accomplish extraordinary results. The economic impact extends far beyond agriculture. China's rice production supports tens of millions of farming families while generating the food security that allows the world's largest nation to thrive, proving that agriculture remains the foundation of civilization and the key to feeding our growing world. These 7 agricultural empires prove that modern farming operates on scales our grandparents could never have imagined. From Iowa's corn heartland to China's ancient rice valleys, these operations represent humanity's greatest achievement in feeding our growing world. Make sure to subscribe for more incredible facts about the agriculture that keeps us all fed. And don't miss the next video on your screen where I reveal the shocking truth about America's most valuable crops.